Hello everyone, welcome to Rachel Pichler Yoga. Just in case we haven't met before, my name is Rachel. We're keeping things short and sweet today. We are doing a focused practice on our hips and hamstrings. So find some space to move and let's get started. All right, you guys, we are going to begin in butterfly. We're not going to stay very long in any one place today. So the soles of your feet can find their way together. Let your knees fall out wide, maybe lean back a little, press the ground away to sit taller. Maybe take a little tip forwards, even a gentle sway of the shoulders. And just notice how you're feeling throughout your body, specifically your hips. And if you are folding, you can lift back up. Help your knees come together. Give them a hug or a squeeze. And then we're going to send our legs out long and out wide. Point the toes up. Same thing. You can always lean back and press into the hands. Take the weight off of the low back. You can always tip forwards and maybe even sway a little bit. Feeling the inner legs, the hips. And again, if you are folding, just start to make your way back up. Bring your hands to your legs to help them come together. Again, give them a squeeze, and then we can move into tabletop. So come over and onto your hands and knees. Maybe give your hips a little bit of a sway, side to side, and then widen your knees and bring your big toes together. Maybe widen your knees a lot, maybe more so than you do usually in child's pose. They could go as wide as you want them to go, big toes slightly touching, and sitting back on the heels maybe. Feeling the hips. And just like that, it's over. So you can bring your hands back down and you can bring the knees in, back to your tabletop. Now sending the right foot forwards, lunge with that left knee on the ground. Rest on the top of the foot. Find the hip flexor, that left hip. Just another breath here, and then we can send the hips back, lengthening the front leg. Maybe press your foot down. Find your hamstring, the rest of the leg too. And then back, bending back into the front knee, back into that left hip. We're going to heel toe the right foot over for lizard lunge. Hands on the shoulders, sinking into the hips. The option to lift your back foot and reach for it. Deepen that hip stretch, get into the quad a little bit. And then letting that foot go if you did lift it. Bring your hands to the ground, heel toe your foot back to the middle of your mat. Send the hips back, and this time maybe point the toes up more. Hamstring. Drop the chest towards the knee as you need even more. And then slowly bending back and into that front knee. Now heel toe your foot over to the left side. Lay your shin down. Try to level your hips. Lift your chest. Pigeon. Getting into that right hip and glute. You can fold forwards for a moment if you'd like. Soften the shoulders and take just another breath. Now you can slowly lift all the way back up. Plant the hands. Find tabletop. Give the hips a little bit of a sway. Shake it out. And then our left foot is going to come forwards. Our lunge. Rest on the top of that back foot. Keep the knee on the ground. Find the right hip. Nice and slow. We can start to send the hips back and maybe pressing the foot down for this first half split. And then you can slowly bend back into the front knee, back into your lunge. You can heel toe the foot to the left side if you'd like for your lizard, sinking into the hip. The option 2, reach back for the foot or skipping this part. And then letting that go, bringing your hands back down. Heel toe your foot back to the middle. And then send the hips back again, but this time maybe pointing the toes up, lengthening the hamstring. Let an inhale bring you back into your lunge, and then heel toe your foot over to the right. Lay down the shin, level out the hips, lift the chest. Maybe folding forwards for that brief moment that we get to be here. And then lifting right back up, planting the hands and coming all the way back to your tabletop. Maybe give the hips a little bit of a sway. Widen your knees. Big toes together, or bring some space between the big toes and send the hips back. Keep the chest a little bit tipping forwards or a lot tipping forwards. You might reach forwards and press into the palms to send the hips back and slowly lower down to get more into the hips. But then you're just going to lift. You're going to lift everything back up, scooch everything back in to your tabletop. Shake it out. Cross your ankles and then sit down. Give your knees a little bit of a hug, a squeeze, and then come back into your wide straddle. Feet wide, legs long. Maybe leaning back, pressing into the ground, maybe leaning forwards, and a gentle sway. Maybe you will even turn your chest a little bit towards your right leg and take a forward bend over that way, pointing your toes up, feeling the hamstring more. And then lifting and switching sides. Take a peek over towards the left leg and maybe tipping forwards, pointing those toes up. And then slowly rising again. Find your center, sit tall. Bring your hands to your legs and help them come back together. Give your knees a hug, a squeeze again, and then butterfly. Soles of the feet together, knees wide, lengthen. Maybe folding forwards. Maybe even floating your butterfly. You can still feel some love through the hips with a lean back and floating the feet, kind of hugging the feet in. You could float your butterfly. Awesome work, you guys. If you're floating your feet, try to bring your knees back together, still floating the feet. Give the knees a hug, maybe still floating the feet, and then you can drop them down. Awesome work, you guys. Thank you so much for joining me. It went by like that. Just 10 minutes out of your day. So thank you for being here. Until next time, namaste.